What's going on, guys? It's Jamie here from the FM Hub, back with Football Manager 2016, and today we have another editor tutorial here on FM Scout, and today we're going to continue with our series. First episode we made our club. So load up that editor data file, open up the editor, go to File, Load Database, load your most current database, and then go to File, Load Editor Data, and load up the file we made last time. Head down to the database selection by here, find your club, go to the club profile, and what we're going to do today is going to show you how to make a player. So we're going to head down here to the players list on the left hand side, and all I do really is I search for any random player. I've just typed in John. I'm just going to choose a player who, make sure they are actually a player. That's obviously an important part. Double click on them and load them up into your editor data file. Click on the player now. He should appear on this list. Click edit, and this is where you'll create your player. Rather than creating a player from scratch, we're actually just going to edit a current player. So go through and fill in all the relevant information of what you want your player to be. Of course, you can pick your own name, nationality, anything like that, but I'm just going to create myself here. It's very simple and so straightforward. You can even go choose your ethnicity, the hair colour, skin tone, all the simple stuff, and skin tone then shows up in this little box. The date of birth, obviously, if the player you load in is you know, quite old, you want to have a youngster in your squad, or whatever player you're trying to create, make sure to choose quite a realistic date of birth. You can adjust your city of birth, of course. I mean, you can adjust all of these things, and they all function by using a drop-down menu and then a search function. So they're so simple to do, so simple to operate. I'm going to change the nation here. Obviously, in this part, everything will be different between everyone. So now we pretty much have everything here. We have no international appearance. We're not going to really adjust any of this. I'm going to just reset his international appearances back to 0. But there's so many things we can go through and adjust. There's a contract, everything's operating on the left hand side here. A contract, date joined, we can see here. We can add an actual contract, so I'm going to add a contract now for the next few years, at least anyway. So his contract end date will be July the 1st in 2018. And I'm going to put him on a full-time contract, I think. Wage, we'll keep it realistic, £500 per week. Full-time contract. Preferred squad number, of course, you can adjust these accordingly to whatever you like. Appearance bonuses, all that stuff. Loan, future transfer, add anything you want in there, but the most important thing is the personal data, and that's when you can adjust the stats. The first thing I do is head down here to player data and go to general. And in there, you will get to define a few extra things, such as his current ability and potential ability. Now, if you don't know what potential ability is, you can set it, you know, players are rated up until 200, 0 to 100 in terms of stats. If you set it to 200, he will go on to be one of the better players in the world, but it doesn't necessarily mean he will actually hit that level, just because your facilities might not be good enough for him to reach his full potential, so he won't ever get there. So that's something just to bear in mind, because you may be a bit confused when you make a player and it turns out he's not as good as you thought he'd originally be, even though you set his potential ability to be very, very high. Current ability, of course, adjust that to whatever you like. I'm just making some stuff up. The height, we'll make him a little bit taller. Weight is fine. Left foot, right foot. I mean, it's really down to you how realistic you want to make this. You could make a player who is, you know, sort of decent as potential and you want to turn him into a top player, or you can just create a wonder kid who can play in your squad forever. So you enter your stats as you please. Obviously, you can adjust these two. Trained in the nation, trained in whatever club, whatever. Positions then. Once again, you'll get a rating out of 20 for each position. I don't want a defender. I actually probably want a number 10. So we're going to give him 20 there. We'll give him 13 in attacking midfield left and right, and we'll give him 13 as well at central midfield, just to try and make him a little bit more versatile. I don't care about him playing at wing back, and I don't care about him playing at centre back. Preferred central position, not going to adjust that. Mental attributes, there's no point in me adjusting everything on screen, because you can go through and you can see what you need to adjust, but everything is operated just by this left hand side by here. And once you've completed your play, you can then just save your editor data file, load that up. Bear in mind, I recommend making all these changes in the editor prior to starting your game, because you can't add a player unless you have the in-game editor. every time you make a new data file, you have to load that up while making a new game in Football Manager. So just make sure that you make all the changes necessary you want before starting your game. But this is pretty much it. I mean, there's some preferred moves you can adjust, stuff like that. But to be honest, it's so straightforward and so simple, but I think people are quite often overwhelmed by, potentially how confusing this could be and what could go wrong. But really, there's no risk in messing around with the editor. You're not going to mess up your game at all unless you load up, the editor data of a personalized database and you adjust it and do something wrong and it all goes wrong. But you can always have a clean slate, so bear that in mind. So now what we have in the club after today's tutorial is a player. We finally have a player. Head back here to FM Hub FC. Head down to the players. There we are. Jamie Thomas, age 19, current ability 130, potential 200. That's pretty much all I have to show you today, guys. In our next episode, we'll look at some more things involved in the editor and look to building our club. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to FM Scout and subscribe to me. My link is in the description. I will catch you guys soon for a new tutorial. Goodbye.